What is up, everybody? It's Steve here today, and we're going to talk about Nintendo and how they feel very concerned about people joining their new console, the Switch sequel, maybe the Switch 2, might be called something else, but they don't want the same situation to happen with the Wii U. So Nintendo says the transition to its next console is a major concern for us because, like I said, they don't want the same situation with the Wii U to happen, where the Wii was a major success. Everybody around the world had a Wii, but nobody pretty much bought the Wii U, which is terrible because how do you go from such a high point in gaming to such a low point that quickly? So they don't want that to happen again, which I understand because that was kind of crazy. The Wii was at the very highest, and it was like at the very lowest the next generation. So they don't want that to repeat. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how can they mess it up unless they literally use like some type of weird naming like they did with the Wii U, which kind of caused like a fusion with buyers. But I don't know how you can mess the next one up, but just make a stronger handheld hybrid console. I'm pretty sure the system has been out almost like 5+ years at this point. So pretty sure technology has advanced since then. So just make a stronger one and you're good to go. I mean, we even see like with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a very capable console, and that's like pretty much a high-end handheld. So all you can do is do the same thing. But then again, Nintendo games really take a lot to make those games look good, though, because they're not really gravely demanding like that. So I think they can probably they're most likely gonna figure it out. Like it's Nintendo after all. Like they don't really have to do too much in the graphics and like visuals and voice acting, and they don't have to do too much in that department. So I think they'll figure it out. But let's see what we got to say about this. After the Steam Deck and how powerful it is when it came out, Nintendo has no excuse to come out with a Wii console. It could be a hybrid again if they want, just make it more powerful. It can support more third-party games you see on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Yeah, that is true. That's like the Steam Deck can play a lot of these third-party games. So what's the excuse with the Switch? It's like hopefully with the next one they can play at least some of these major third-party games at that, because there's a lot of third-party games which are just skipping the Switch unless you can get like the cloud version. But who wants to play on the cloud, really? I mean, you do got the option, but I would rather not stream my video games if I have the option to. They can never go back to just a normal home console now, can they? I hope they never do. The Switch was a revelation to me. And then again, I mean, do we really need another home console for Nintendo? I mean, their golden lane right now is like the handheld market, this handheld hybrid situation, handheld console hybrid thing. So I think they probably stick with that route for a while. It's like their last like dedicated consoles. The Wii did really good. Was a dedicated home console. GameCube not so much. The Nintendo 64, I think that did pretty good. So yeah. It's a few misses up in there, but I guess they could do a home. I don't know. Would people want to buy a Nintendo home console, just a dedicated home console for Nintendo, and it has like the same graphics as like the next Xbox Series console or the next PS6 or PS5 enhancement? Who knows? They literally just have to make a Switch HD or a Switch 2. Don't change much of anything, just improve on it. Okay. It's just hard to make beat for handheld consoles because there's so much more heat to deal with, so that they need to either be a lot more efficient chip, therefore creating the same amount of heat, or bigger cooling, which leads to a bigger console. A Switch 2 just can be slightly better. Yeah. Because how do you put that much power into a handheld console? So that's gonna be the biggest problem there. Let's see. The scary thing is that Nintendo is so far behind in terms of tech compared to Sony or Microsoft. Heck, even Valve beat them with the Steam Deck. My hope is that their next console can repeat the success of the Switch. Otherwise, it's going to be a game over for Nintendo. Well, it is kind of hard to believe, like Nintendo. Like even at their worst with the Wii U, the games were still it was still pretty good games on the Wii U. That's why like most of the Switch games are Wii U games, which sell really well on the Switch. So like even at their worst, their games are still pretty decent. Still really good though. They should make a Switch 2 that's backwards compatible. Yeah, that would definitely be a bonus too. But yeah, that would be a bonus if it plays the old Switch games. But then people want them to really go all out with the graphics. It can't be backwards. I don't see how this is gonna work though. Oh, who knows? hope they make a more powerful Switch and not do something weird because they think everything needs a new gimmick. For example, we've not got a new F-Zero because they can't think of a gimmick for it. Okay. Yeah, that was a very popular series. I just know the character from Smash Bros. But that character, that's a very popular franchise. They just do nothing with, which their fans have been demanding that game, which is weird. Like, when you see your fan base asking for that game, just do nothing with it. It's just wild right there. It's like they just really do nothing with the IP right there. I generally don't see where they go with their next gimmick after making a handheld console hybrid. Honestly, there's console not being a handheld console hybrid would be a huge blow. It's safer to just do a Switch 2, to be honest, but with better specs. Okay. What is this? 2017, Nintendo Switch releases. 2022, middle of life cycle. They're going to release a Switch 2 in 2027, aren't they? 5 more years of the Switch. I don't know if the Switch is going to be... Nah, that's too long. That's way too long. They should wait until they can support third-party next-gen games. The jump of the RTX 4000 cards is immense. Yeah. One way to help transition is to have backwards compatibility. They never do it, but the Super Switch Entertainment System have one Switch cards play, look, and run better. I'm pretty sure couldn't they probably make it like they could probably possibly just make it a home console and just have it like, hey, you can play your old Switch games. Just put the chip in there to play your old Switch games and have like a disc reader as well too. So I think they can make it work that you can still play your old games on this new one without it being just cart based. I don't know, just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks, but that is really concerning though. I understand why they're concerned because they have a huge base right now of the Switch. It's like over 100 it's like 130 plus million people got the Switch, so yeah, they don't want to lose that audience. I would want to lose that either if I'm Nintendo right now, so yeah, I just wonder how they're gonna make this work, to be honest. Watch them call it something like New Super Nintendo Switch. That is definitely of the name, how they definitely do their names in Nintendo. So when they called the 3DS the new 3DS, and that was just confusing. Like what? Well, you literally called your new system the new 3DS, the new 3DS. So when you bought the new 3DS used, it was super confusing to listen to explain what you wanted. It's just they are definitely not the greatest at names. Let's just say that. Let's just hope at the time they make controllers that don't drift after a month of usage. That definitely needs to be fixed in the next one, because that controller drift situation is just we don't need to have that again. That is just ridiculous, and it took them so long to actually address that situation too, which was just nonsense. Imagine if they just kept running with the Switch for a ridiculous amount of time, for a ridiculous amount of years, just to the point everyone got a sick of it because they couldn't figure out what to do, and the Switch kept selling. That would never happen. Okay. It would be super dumb of Nintendo to move too far from the Switch formula. We need an OLED screen, better processor, graphics, backwards compatibility, and pretty much the same as the current Switch, just more oomph. Okay. It's a more powerful Switch is what he's pretty much trying to say. Oh, okay. So he says he's like this. Just have the Super Nintendo Switch. One docks into the other one. So okay. So pretty much like you could still use your old Switch as a handheld, but with the new system, I don't know how that would work. I guess you could still. I don't know. I don't know how that would work right there. You know they want to make a Switch 2 so bad, but they're hesitant to because the Wii almost killed them. Yeah. I think they kind of got to worry after the Wii U, isn't it? Yeah, that we don't want that Wii U situation to happen again whatsoever. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think this is probably the more interesting one at the big three because how are they gonna make this next one work? That's more interesting than just like Microsoft doing another Xbox home console or the PlayStation doing another PS6. So this is kind of more interesting how they're gonna make their next console, to be honest. So I'm going to conclude it right here. Let me know your thoughts down below. How do you think Nintendo can make this next system work without them losing their core audience, their audience, this huge audience they have with the Switch right now? Leave your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.